Alright, so we have Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Spivak. So break down the striking of these two. So for Aspinall, he's very light in his feet. Doesn't look like a heavyweight in there for sure. Well, size-wise, yes he does, but style-wise, he looks more like a middleweight, just with how light on his feet he is and how fast his hands are for the heavyweight division. He's a good striker, likes the lead leg low kick to get the opponent moving back, and then pumps that jab out to just kind of perpetuate that backwards movement of his opponent. Nice 1-2, check left hook. He will leave his chin in the air or lean back with his chin in the air to avoid strikes, and also he just has that lead hand low. So it's not really going to be a huge problem here because Spivak, he's more of a grappler than a striker, I'd say. I thought it was going to be a big issue for him in the who was his last opponent? Pavlovich. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a problem for him against Pavlovich because Pavlovich has a nasty overhand right, and if you're leaning back with your lead hand low, that shin's right there. Especially just lead hand low all the time, you're gonna be open to overhand rights for sure. So Spivak, he's, as I said, he's not much of a striker. His striking is improving every fight for sure. He is also becoming much more comfortable in the feet. In his first fight against Walt Harris, I taped him before his debut, and I thought he looked really uncomfortable on the feet always. And then Walt Harris just came through and just steamrolled him basically. But since then he's improved his striking leaps and bounds. He's much more comfortable on the feet now. He's mostly throwing straight punches, snap and jab, 1-2. That's mostly what he's throwing, I'd say. But yeah, I'd definitely give the advantage in the stand-up to Tom Aspinall. One thing Sergey Spivak does is that he will back up quite easily. It's not hard to get him on the back foot. He reaches for punches on the back foot as well. Tom Aspinall potentially just drive him back with the jab and the low kick, and then look for a driving double on the fence if he wants to. I don't think he'll look to grapple in this fight. I think Tom Aspinall will look to keep it on the feet. I think Sergey Spivak will look to ground this fight. Spivak, he's got decent wrestling. He's catch a kick, try to ground the opponent, opportunistic with his takedowns, reactive double. He's got nice judo throws in the clinch. Once he does get that body lock or the wrestling ride, he is quite sticky from there. When he gets on top, he'll sit in half guard. He's mostly looking to just, sit in the guard. He knows, I guess heavyweights, don't have the most technical get-ups. Mostly are just trying to muscle their way back to their feet. So it's quite smart that he just stays in the guard and doesn't try to pass to mount or anything where it's, there's a lot of explosive energy that heavyweights can generate from bottom, and they can, just kind of buck their way out of mount and back onto their feet. So I think it is smart that he just stays into the guard. I think that is good of him, honestly. So how these guys win fights for Sergey Spivak, he's well conditioned. I don't expect this short notice to be too much of an effect here, honestly. For Tom Aspinall, he's well rounded, which is quite unusual at heavyweight. Mostly they're just one or the other, or they're just decent at one thing and terrible at another thing. That's mostly the case with heavyweights. How these guys lose fights. For Spivak, subpar get-ups. If you do get him down, he doesn't have great get-ups. For Tom Aspinall, poor takedown defense, and I'll get into that in a sec. Path to victory for these two. For Tom Aspinall, forward pressure, take the front foot. Combinations when he's backpedaling. So yeah, just on the feet. Combinations as he's backpedaling. He's not going to be throwing too much as he's on his bike. Look to mix in takedowns as well. As I said, doesn't have the best get-ups. For Spivak, it's a wrestling heavy game plan for sure. Don't want to be on the feet for too long here. How I see this fight going. So great work by the UFC to put this fight together on short notice to ranked heavyweights. And it's always good with heavyweights because, you can just call them up basically and they're going to be fight shape. Or they're going to be just probably in the range of 205 to 265. So they're probably they're a bit more reliable than your standard guy on short notice. So I don't think the short notice is going to be playing too much of a factor here. But yeah, anyway, on a bit of a tangent. I think this is a good short notice replacement fight, and hopefully it does give me a few answers I have of Tom Aspinall. Like Tom Aspinall, he hasn't had to defend any takedowns since the Stuart Austin fight. But in that fight, I thought his takedown defense looked really bad. Like he got taken down like 5 times in like 7 minutes. and Austin was just pounding on him basically. Aspinall was going for triangles and arm bars off his back and shit like that, which is just a complete no-no at heavyweight because of the power these guys can generate with ground and pound. So that was a bit of a red flag. Yeah, but that was 6 years ago. He's improved at every other aspect of his game since then, so I'm expecting his takedown defense would have improved a lot as well. But still, it's yet to be seen. He's been finishing guys real quickly, and no one's really been able to shoot takedowns or, have any success with the wrestling against him because he just blasts them out of there pretty quickly. I think whoever's on top will be winning the grappling battle in this one because both guys have shown a lack of urgency to get up from bottom in the past. The guy most likely to be in top position though, I do think, is Sergey Spivak. He's got better takedown defense and he's got better offensive wrestling. So if anyone's going to have grappling success in this fight, I think it's more likely to be Spivak. On the other side of the coin, even though Spivak's hands are improving, I do have Aspinall on the feet. Not by a landslide though, it's probably going to be, I feel like it's going to be semi-competitive. Aspinall definitely landing the better shots though. He's definitely going to be clearly, the better striker. But I don't think he's going to blow him out of the water, per se. I think Tom's going to be able to take the front foot away from Spivak. If Spivak does, land a few successful takedowns, then maybe that could translate into some tentativeness by Aspinall on the feet. But either way, I think Aspinall should win on the feet no matter what, is going on really. I'm just not as high on Aspinall, I think, as most are, or as a lot of people are. He has a few flaws in his game for sure that I think are going to get him into trouble in this division where one punch can kill. I don't think he's bad by any means, but I just think he's a little bit overrated by the bookies and the general public. I favour Aspinall to win, but that Stewart Austin fight just left a very sour taste in my mouth. Alright, so we'll have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. So prediction is Tom Aspinall TKO round 2. I do think he wins, but the line is just way too wide. Way too wide. Yeah, I'll bet Spivak at $3.30 for sure. Just with the grappling that I've seen from Tom Aspinall, definitely going to bet Sergey Spivak. Looking at other props, not really, Not really anything. Yeah, it's all good. But should be a fun fight. Great short notice replacement. Great technical matchup. Two technical heavyweights. Should be fun.